You've heard the legendary tale, the Greeks tricking Troy with a giant wooden horse, but what if I told you the real story behind the Trojan horse is even more astonishing than the myth? I'm Edward, and today we're uncovering the surprising truth hidden behind history's most famous deception, revealing shocking insights that challenge everything you thought you knew about the Trojan horse. First, let's revisit the story we all know. After 10 exhausting years of battle, the Greek armies still hadn't captured the heavily fortified city of Troy. Desperate, they crafted an enormous wooden horse and pretended to sail away in defeat. Believing it a gift, the Trojans triumphantly brought it inside their gates. But hidden inside were elite Greek warriors, who emerged under cover of night to open the gates and finally conquer Troy. It's a captivating tale, one that's inspired countless artworks, movies, and literature. But was it just a clever legend? Or did this legendary deception truly happen? The truth behind the Trojan horse might surprise you because historians and archaeologists have discovered compelling evidence suggesting that, while the giant wooden horse itself probably never existed, the story wasn't simply a fictional fantasy either. In fact, the real events behind this legend might be even more intriguing. To unravel this mystery, we first need to understand the real city of Troy itself. Located in modern-day Turkey, ancient Troy wasn't a mythical place. It was a thriving, wealthy trading city, strategically positioned between Europe and Asia. Archaeologists have uncovered impressive walls and fortifications, indicating that the legendary city described by Homer in the Iliad truly existed. But could such a strong city really fall for a trick as seemingly obvious as the Trojan horse? Here's where things get fascinating. Because historians now believe the Trojan horse may have been a symbolic representation of something far more sophisticated. One intriguing theory suggests the horse might actually symbolize an earthquake. Now, before you dismiss this idea, consider this. Ancient Greeks associated horses with Poseidon, the god of earthquakes. Archaeological evidence shows Troy was frequently damaged by powerful quakes. Imagine Greek forces exploiting the chaos of a natural disaster, striking precisely when Troy's defenses were weakened. Could this unexpected theory be the true origin of the Trojan horse legend? Yet another captivating possibility is that the horse was actually a massive siege machine or battering ram, shaped symbolically like a horse. Ancient siege warfare often involved large wooden towers and powerful rams. Historians argue that the Greeks may have cleverly disguised their intentions by camouflaging this military equipment as a religious offering, tricking the Trojans into believing it was harmless. Imagine Troy's defenders opening their gates willingly, never suspecting danger. But if that's true, why does the legend specifically describe warriors hidden inside the horse? Surprisingly, historians now suggest the hidden soldiers might represent elite Greek spies or traitors inside Troy itself. Think about it. Throughout history, cities often fell due to betrayal from within. Could the Greeks have won the Trojan War not solely through brute force, but by secretly convincing prominent Trojans to betray their city from the inside? This possibility becomes even more compelling when considering recent archaeological finds. Excavations of ancient Troy revealed extensive signs of fires, battles, and widespread destruction, but also indications of sudden internal chaos and conflict. Could these signs point to a devastating internal betrayal that inspired the legendary Trojan horse story? Yet there's another fascinating twist historians have uncovered about this tale. The likelihood that the story we know today was deliberately exaggerated over generations. Ancient stories were passed down orally, allowing each storyteller to enhance the drama. Perhaps the horse began as a simple symbolic metaphor, only evolving into an enormous physical structure filled with warriors after generations of retellings. But if the Trojan horse was so heavily exaggerated, why has it become such an enduring symbol of deception throughout history? The truth behind this might surprise you. Because humans are naturally fascinated by clever trickery and cunning strategies, the idea of victory through brains rather than brute strength resonates deeply, inspiring countless adaptations in modern literature, art, and even military strategy. Yet here's an intriguing question that remains. If the Trojan horse was symbolic, why did it resonate so powerfully through history, becoming perhaps the most famous military strategy ever? The answer reveals something fascinating about human psychology. Our attraction to stories involving deception, surprise, and cunning over pure strength. Even today, the term Trojan horse is used widely, from cybersecurity breaches to strategic political maneuvers, indicating our continued fascination with strategic deception. But if the Trojan horse legend symbolizes something deeper than just clever trickery, perhaps internal betrayal or exploiting natural disasters, could we still learn valuable lessons today? Could understanding the real history behind this legend offer insights into modern challenges, from cybersecurity threats to diplomatic relations? The astonishing reality behind the Trojan horse doesn't diminish the story. It enriches it, showing how real history can be even more intriguing than myth. But what other surprising secrets still lie hidden within this legendary tale? The answers might change how you see history forever. If you think the Trojan horse story is compelling, wait until you discover what historians have uncovered about what happened to Troy after its fall, because the truth behind the city's final days is even more astonishing. After Troy's devastating fall, historians discovered something astonishing. Its story was far from over, and what happened afterward might be even more surprising than the legendary horse itself. I'm Edward, and now we're exploring the unexpected aftermath of Troy's dramatic defeat, revealing shocking truths that challenge what you thought you knew about ancient history. When the Greeks finally breached Troy's defenses, whether through cunning deception, natural disaster, or internal betrayal, the city didn't simply vanish overnight. Instead, archaeological evidence suggests that Troy continued to exist, evolving and adapting long after its supposed destruction. Imagine a city rebuilding itself from ruin, striving to reclaim its lost glory. Yet here's something fascinating. Historians believe the survivors of Troy's fall didn't remain isolated. Instead, they likely migrated and integrated with neighboring civilizations, spreading their culture and legendary stories throughout the ancient world. Could the fall of Troy, rather than signaling an end, have been a catalyst for broader cultural exchange across the Mediterranean? But the truth behind Troy's legacy becomes even more intriguing. While Homer's epic poems, the Iliad and the Odyssey, portray the Trojans as noble adversaries tragically doomed by fate, real history suggests a much more complex picture. Archaeologists discovered that Troy wasn't just a victim of war, but also a vibrant, influential trade hub, maintaining complex diplomatic relationships with multiple ancient civilizations. Could this mean the Trojan War itself was part of a much broader struggle for control over strategic trade routes and valuable resources? And what about the Greek victors? Did their victory truly end the conflict, or was it merely the start of further troubles? Here's where things take a surprising turn. because historians uncovered evidence suggesting the Greeks faced significant struggles after their victory, from internal power struggles to widespread instability. Some historical sources even describe Greek heroes returning home only to face tragic fates, violence, and betrayal. Could the real cost of victory have been far greater than previously imagined? This tragic irony offers a compelling insight into human history. Victories achieved through deception, betrayal, or excessive violence often bring long-term consequences: political turmoil, societal fractures, and cycles of revenge. Perhaps the enduring lesson of Troy is less about clever warfare and more about the long-lasting human cost of conflict itself. But if the Trojan horse is such a powerful symbol of cunning and deception, why do we rarely focus on these darker consequences? The answer might surprise you, because humans often prefer heroic tales with satisfying endings over complicated realities. We idealize cleverness and celebrate deception when it leads to victory, often ignoring the painful aftermath. Yet historians have uncovered something else astonishing. The cultural memory of Troy influenced far more than just ancient stories. In fact, the legend profoundly shaped later civilizations, including the Romans. According to Roman mythology, survivors from Troy founded Rome itself, directly linking Roman identity to Trojan heritage. Imagine an entire empire drawing legitimacy from this legendary war and its survivors, reshaping world history based on a tale rooted partly in myth and partly in reality. This powerful legacy reveals another fascinating truth about history itself. The lines between fact and myth are often blurred. Legends like the Trojan Horse aren't simply about historical events. They reflect deeper human desires, fears, and ambitions. Perhaps the true power of the Trojan Horse story isn't its factual accuracy, but its timeless symbolism. Cunning versus strength, betrayal versus loyalty, victory versus consequence. And today, this ancient legend continues influencing us in surprising ways. From strategic thinking in warfare and politics, to cybersecurity threats known as Trojan horses, and even popular culture, including movies, books, and games, inspired by Troy's epic saga. Could this ancient story still hold valuable lessons for us today, teaching us to recognize hidden dangers, question appearances, and appreciate the complex realities beneath simple victories? Ultimately, uncovering the shocking truth behind the Trojan horse doesn't diminish its legend, it deepens it. By exploring real historical possibilities, natural disasters, symbolic siege weapons, internal betrayals, and complex human motivations, we gain profound insights into human history and psychology. So, the next time you hear the story of the Trojan horse, remember, the reality hidden behind legend is often richer, deeper, and far more fascinating. The truths concealed within history's greatest myths teach us not only about the past, but about ourselves.